Hi all. So today we're going to look at a game from Tal in which he absolutely displays the meaning of the word intermezzo in chess. His opponent is, I hope I pronounced it properly, Istvan Bilek. And let's just kick off. The first few moves are not that interesting, but standard. Although, after a move or 10, actually stopped there, you might already clearly see the intention of Tal. Black has here a very clear space advantage and has a very aggressive setup. He's already very deep into the white camp, I would say. White takes, it makes sense to break open, and after the retake, white continues as such with the move d4. Now after queen b6, d takes, bishop takes, knight to b3, rook f to e8, shouting boo at the queen, needs to move away. d4 is very clear that Tal, as usual, goes for the complications in this game. And well, white goes to f5, and after rook takes, knight takes, rook e8, knight f3, bishop d6 and bishop g5, completing development, knight e4, rook e1 and knight e7. Here we actually get the first really interesting point in the game, in my opinion. White takes, and whilst it would actually be very normal, of course, to retake the bishop with like rook takes e7, here we start with the first intermezzo, g6. So where does the queen go? I mean, there are not that many good squares for the queen actually. And it was Tal who said in the post-mortem of the game that the proper way of handling this would be to take the knight on e4 and sacrifice the queen, but Engines has proven that wrong. Queen h3, and now d takes c3, yes? D takes c3, we don't recapture yet because we are Tal, so let's continue. White here actually plays rook takes e4. Now let's have a quick look. Why would we not want to take with the bishop? It looks good enough, but now we have an instant winning move. Queen takes f2 check. And after king h1, can you see the continuation? Well, if you haven't seen it, you might have guessed it. Queen takes e1, check. Knight takes, and check. And we get our queen back. And after, let's say, king f1, right? Pawn takes b2 with the threat of queening, and there really is no proper way for white to defend against this. So let's try. Anyway, knight to d2. And now after, well, let's say bishop takes check, king takes. Both rook moves are fine. You can take the knight on e1, but let's stay in our theme of promoting the pawn. Rook e2 check, king takes our knight on h3, and after rook takes d2, it's all over very clearly. So that's why in this position, to go back, it is rook takes e4 and not bishop takes d6, which is not an option. So after rook takes, of course we don't capture because it's Tal, so we move our pawn to b2. It's a very beautiful intermezzo, clearly threatening the promotion that we saw before. Rook e1, stopping promotion, at least for now. Rook takes e7, yeah, finally we do take a piece. Rook b1, kicking the knight, it's just all very sad. So knight to d4, best move would have been to give up your knight, according to the engines. Bishop takes f3, knight takes f3, and now we have rook to e1. So it's very clear that we add an additional attacker to f2. So white defends against f2. So what would the follow-up of Tal be after the pawn is defended? Exactly, he takes it. Rook takes f2. And now it's actually very apparent because we cannot take the rook. If rook takes f2, oops, and black is playing with two queens. So it's not an option. After rook takes f2, what Bilek tried was queen to c8 check, king g7, check on c3, and after f6, white resigned. The threat is very clear here. We have a windmill set up. The rook will move, and that threat is very strong. And if we take the rook, it's again our promotion to a queen. We cannot stop both, and that's why we resigned here. Actually, I want to go back for a second to this position, just to illustrate. I know we all are always like looking at the perspective from Tal, and we would like to fantasize, at least I would, as like being Tal, but just imagine being white here, and also the position itself. All these pieces that white has are all like hurdled together in, I don't know, fear of the black pieces. Also, even my computer doesn't allow me to select them properly, just for the fear for Tal. There we go. So all those white pieces all clunched together in utmost fear of playing against Tal. At least that's my perspective on it. Okay, this was a quick game of Tal, just showing some of the lines he had. I hope you learned something from the intermezzos. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Let me know what other games you'd like me to analyze, and I hope to see you soon in future videos. Bye bye.